Hi, yeah, so I am Spencer Cohen. I am the writer and director of The Compatriots. The Compatriots is a feature-length comedy drama about immigration. It revolves around Javi, an undocumented immigrant brought to this country at a very young age, and his estranged best friend Hunter, trying to find a way to keep Javi in the only country he's ever known. It is based on my relationship with my best friend Alberto. Alberto is a dreamer who was brought to this country when he was 13 years old. And I didn't know about this until high school. He didn't tell me that he was in this honestly horrible situation, a situation where he didn't have any rights in this country and didn't share the same equal privileges that I thought he had. And over the discussions with him over the past decade, we're like, how do we tell this story? How do we talk about dreamers? How do we talk about DACA? And how do we do it in a way that we would want to watch? So our favorite films are buddy comedies. I Love You Man, Superbad, Step Brothers. So how do you do a buddy comedy but about immigration? And that's the Compatriots. I met Beto in middle school, and I met him because I sold him a WrestleMania DVD on the bus. And we became friends after that. And I went off to film school, and the first script I wrote out of film school was the basis of The Compatriots. And over the course of the decade of writing it, we went back and forth constantly trying to make sure that it was as authentic a film as possible, as funny a film as possible, as heartwarming a film as possible, and would reach the biggest audience that we possibly could. We really set out to make sure that it wasn't just like one of our tenets was to make it a film for dreamers and not a film for the American audience, the white audience. And we said, okay, how do we do that? How do we properly do that? How do we tell an authentic story? And so not only was Beto heavily involved in making sure we had those in place, but we also brought in other dreamers, other members of the DACA community. On set, we had all sorts of people from all sorts of different kinds of backgrounds. Tons of them went through the green card immigration process. And so all those little snippets I took and we threw it into the film. And I think it really creates a very truthful story. And I think it really is introduces an audience who might not have lived this or might not have a friend who has lived this to a world that they've not seen before. The funding was private, family and friends. We had been talking about this story for a long time, and I had worked at a running shoe company for about 4 years as a shooter and editor for them. And I quit my job, and my wife let me quit my job, and I was like, we have to make this film. We have to tell this story. This is the right time to tell this story. We really strove to make sure that we had people in our cast and crew who had gone through these processes and were members of these communities. Rafa, for instance, who plays Javi, has a very similar story to Javi. And he just happened, we were doing a table read, and he got an email from one of his friends. It was like, I think you'd be perfect for this table read. And we were struggling. We were like, how are we going to find a Javi, especially in Boston? The acting community is not like that large. We were like, it's going to be really hard to cast Javi. Like, he's a very specific person. And then up showed this wonderful actor at my table read. And the whole time I kept just being like, okay, we need to get this guy's number afterwards. And he then also had auditioned. We were in the auditioning process, and I saw his tape come in. I was like, that's our guy. And he just breathed so much life into the story. It was so beautiful. And he just took home the Best Actor award at the Chelsea Film Festival, which was really awesome that he was able to be honored for his performance. It was really special. And the rest of the crew came together. We became a little family. They called this thing Camp Patriots. We were on a cabin site for like 3 days, and they all camped out at the cabin site. I went home because I was very tired, but they all camped out at the cabin site. And when you're making indie films, it can be hard. The budgets are tight. Pay is not what people are used to. But we really made sure what we did was to stick to a 10-hour day, because a lot of times these film shoots can go way over time limits. The people can be exhausted, they can be driving home, it can be reckless. So we're like, we're gonna stick to 10-hour days. We're gonna make sure everyone is healthy, taken care of. And we created a lovely family. And it's great to to be here and show it to a few of them today. I've loved my time at the Ojai Film Festival. It's a wonderful community and just absolutely wonderful films. You know, when you go to these film festivals, you're always judging your work against the other work you see on screen. And from the first night we came here and watched Los Freakies, I was like, I can't believe we're even in this caliber of film. This is so special. This is awesome. Very excited about the films and the quality of films that are at the film festival. To say wonderful filmmakers as well. Just absolutely wonderful connections. It's a really special place. It really feels like a very lovely, tight community aspect, which I love. I come from a suburban town in Massachusetts, and I love the feeling, like the artsy vibes reminds me kind of like the Berkshires, but in California. Like, it's very special here, and just a very well-run festival with great staff and organizers, and we're very, very proud to have this as our West Coast premiere.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.